Welcome to the big sky and wide open spaces of the state of Texas. And what a state it's in. The little numbered black blotches on the map represent 19 new coal-fired power plants that have been planned for the state. If built, these plants would infuse an extremely toxic cloud of pollutants into Texas's already polluted air. Every year, these plants would emit over 110 million tons of carbon dioxide, over 59,000 tons of sulfur dioxide, over 28,000 tons of ozone-forming nitrogen oxide, over 19,000 tons of particulate matter, and over 4,000 pounds of mercury. That's every year, year after year. Most of those plants are concentrated in one little part of Texas, the area around Waco. Let's see what the local folks have to say about it.
You're looking at the Lake Creek gas-fired power plant. It's been here since early 50s. We have lived next to it all this time. We was led to believe it was clean. Still in the early morning hours, so the wind didn't blow much. The whole Manus Creek Valley would be filled with the yellow-looking smog. And as a result, Joe and I both have asthma. We developed when we was probably 50 years old. And there's no asthma in our family, and we're also cancer survivors, both of us. So there's been some bad effects of this. For instance, my soil tests always show a lot of acid, and I have to put lime on the soil. All the bullfrogs have disappeared since we've been married in the area. I don't know if I think it's called from sulfur dioxide, but and we got some trees dying, some sturdy old post oak trees. Of course, we don't know what's causing it, but they weren't dying like that before. But now, TXU had one of their proposed coal-fired plants to be built here, just on the other side of the lake, and so as Sandy Creek has a permit now on the other side of the lake, and these two coal-fired plants are 850 megawatt plants, and they're just a little over a mile from our house, so I don't know that we can really live if they built these coal-fired plants here. We will have to move to other place, even though I've been here since 1942. All our life savings are in our land, and it's going to rob us of that value. Nobody wants to live next to a coal-fired plant.
Take a look at this lush, green, hill country hillside. Gorgeous, isn't it? Well, now, try to imagine it with that. Here, in the small Texas town of Riesel, a few miles from Waco, sits Sandy Creek, the site of a proposed new pollution-belching, coal-burning power plant. The plant is owned by Dynegy, who recently bought it, along with 7 other plants, from LS Power. This is just one of 3 proposed coal plants in the area, making it the new potential epicenter of dangerous air in a state that already leads the nation in air pollution.
It's going to be emitting a lot of emissions. It's going to be having coal dust, because as you can feel right now, the wind is prevalent, and it'll come directly over my home. It'll hit our land. We farm and ranch. We have cattle. It'll be on the grass. It'll be on everything that we own. The Waco city limits will be impacted as well. Baylor University, all of the people in the area will have the effects from coal. And what upsets us most is that the city of Waco and the little surrounding communities will stand to make money by the sale of the sewer water for the cooling towers that go to this plant.
What really has set the furor off was the fact that they were going to put the railroads across and take out the biggest part of Elk, Hallsburg, which, I mean, that's really devastating. It will displace a lot of people. Take a lot of people that's their only place they've ever lived. They're old people. And I just think it would just be the most dreadful thing. And it's just like in the Bible, the word right is in the Bible a lot, and it is not right what they want to do. There's nothing right about it. We really have just been hung out there with no one really protecting our rights and our health. You know, they've just left us. It's politics and money. That's all it amounts to. It's whoever's the biggest politician and how much money that TXU can pay them, and that's how it works. Senator Averitt called a meeting with the Waco community and the county, but we were not invited. None of the communities that it's really going to affect, like Riesel and Hallsberg and Elk, none of those entities were included in that meeting because he didn't want to hear what all of us, and we have about 200 members in our group, feel about this. I've been to visit with Kip Averitt more than once, and he really does not like me very well, and he knew if T-Power was invited, I would be there. We have done a lot of good. T-Power sort of lit the candle, and the flame has grown and grown, and I think that we have made really great progress and great strides in getting the people of Texas to realize what all of this can do. It will affect people in Waco, Dallas, Fort Worth, on down, just as far as the wind blows. And the wind blows here all the time.
We had 2,400 people on the Capitol steps in February in cold wind on the Capitol steps, and it was wild. It was wonderful. And Doc Anderson got up there and spoke, and oh my goodness, what a hero he has been, standing up against his entire party and saying, folks, this isn't right. It's just not right to do this to our children and our grandchildren, to put this kind of stuff in our air.
We found out that it was going to be worse than we even anticipated with 9 plants within a 50-mile area. Extend that area out to 100 miles, there's 8 million people and 3 river basins that would be affected by these 9 plants in the 50 miles of Waco. At the same time, there was 0 air quality monitoring and no cumulative effect monitoring. And so it was a situation where the folks of Waco from all walks of life started to organize and started to educate themselves and started to stand up and say, wait a minute now, there's got to be a better way.
I think that the power companies have been trying to scare the citizens of Texas about power shortage. I think we can meet many of our needs through energy efficiency and through green power. Texas has tremendous wind resources. There's lots of other things that could work very well, biomass, solar. So I think there's lots of ways to meet these needs, and we don't have to use 19th century technology and destroy our health in the process. Mercury is one of the big problems with any of these plants, and it's been implicated in learning disorders and autism spectrum disorders. The particulate matter that comes out of these plants causes problems with asthma, increased rates of heart attack, stroke. So there's some very serious health consequences that come from these plants.
My advice to people that are fighting coal-fired plants to get well educated. Number 1, get well organized, get well educated, and don't give up. I've learned a lot. My mind is just so full of all of this stuff that I never dreamed that at 73 years old I would learn all of this stuff I never knew. That I was even going to have to learn all of this, I guess I should say.
I am very, very upset with Rick Perry. I think he has sold the public interest out for corporate profit, and I think that is shameful. And this is not a partisan issue. Our governor and our legislature are there to do what's right for Texas, and they're doing what's right for corporations instead.
So the bottom line is our family, as you rock on down the line, people in this area enjoy the outdoor life, farmers, ranchers, lake resources we have here, and we want to make sure that this stays quality life and clean environment in the absolute heart of Texas.
I like Texas. I like this community. I like nature. I like clean air. I like clean water. And I don't like power plants.
We plan to fight this fight till the last coal plant bites the dust.
I'm convinced we're going to win. It just takes a while.